What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another Detroit Lions video. Now, Matt Patricia was officially relieved of duty as of yesterday, as of Saturday. He was released of duty and is no longer the head coach of the Detroit Lions, which of course means that the Detroit Lions will be looking far and wide for their successor, for Matt Patricia, for the next coach, for the next regime to take this team into the future and hopefully take them a little farther than Matt Patricia was able to do. Now, looking far and wide also includes and insinuates that they will be looking at the college level as well. And in today's video, I wanted to go over three college coaches that I think we could pull up from the college level, guys that are willing to leave a program, guys that are willing to make the jump to the NFL or make the jump back to the NFL, and guys that I think can come in and are proven winners, and guys that I think can truly help this team in the Detroit Lions compete and be really, really good in the 2021 season. Now, before we get into the video and talking about these three head coaches, if you are new to the channel and are enjoying this Detroit Lions content, please consider liking the videos and subscribing to the channel. It only takes 2 seconds out of your day to do so, and it helps the channel out more than you could know. So if you could do that, just take those 2 seconds to like and subscribe. I'd be greatly appreciative for it. But without any further ado, let's get into talking about the top 3 coaching candidates from college football that the Lions needed to take a look at. Now, these head coaches are in no particular order. In fact, the first coach is probably my last option, but the first coach I wanted to mention is Jim Harbaugh, the head coach at Michigan University right now, at the University of Michigan. Now, obviously, as I said, Jim Harbaugh would not be my first choice for an NFL head coach. He's obviously had some NFL head coaching experience before, being a really good NFL head coach, in fact, for the San Francisco 49ers for a couple of years. And, you know, while Jim Harbaugh would not be my first choice, he wouldn't be my favorite candidate for the job, I do think he is a very qualified coach, and you can't deny the fact that all Jim Harbaugh has done throughout his career as a coach has won football games. Now, going back to even his Stanford days, the beginning of his coaching career, and I can't remember what year it was, but his first year, that team went 4-8. It wasn't very good, but Jim Harbaugh built that team up. He built that squad and that organization and that program up for years and years and years. And when he ended up leaving that organization, when he ended up leaving that program, Stanford was a 12-1 football team, and they were ranked number 4 in the country after the season. They were 12-1 and ranked 4th in the country this season that Jim Harbaugh left. So he took a 4-8 team and took it to 12-1 and the 4th team in the country. Obviously, that is a very, very good resume. That is a very good thing to have. And obviously, you know, that shows that he can build up a team. He can build a team into a winner. He can take a program and an organization that isn't accustomed to winning, hasn't won a lot in a long time, and take them back to relevancy, take them back to the playoffs, take them back to being a top team in any division, you know, in any level. And he can take a team that is 4-8 like Stanford, he can take them to that 12-1. He can take a organization like the 49ers, which we'll talk about next, to a Super Bowl. He's done it before over and over and over again. So he is a very qualified coach, and all he's done throughout his career is win. Now, Jim Harbaugh, after he was at Stanford, he left after a 12-1 season where the Stanford Cardinal finished with a 12-1 record, ranking 4th in the country. He then went to the San Francisco 49ers and had a 44-19-1 record there, including a 5-3 playoff record, 2 NFC Championship appearances, and 1 Super Bowl appearance in just 4 years. So, very good coach. I believe he went 13-3, 11-5, 13-3, and then he went 8-8 his final season, which was a little bit of a drop-off. But again, all winning records, or at least all 500 or above records. Jim Harbaugh has never had a losing season as a head coach in the NFL, and you cannot fault him for that. You know, Jim Harbaugh might not be doing great at Michigan right now. So things aren't going right for him at the University of Michigan right now, but you can't deny the fact that this dude has built up programs, and this dude has won a lot of football games, and especially in the NFL, he's been a very productive and a very winning head coach in his time. Now, after his time with the San Francisco 49ers, Michigan fans, of course, know he went to Michigan and was supposed to take this program over the top. He did not end up doing that, unfortunately, for the Michigan Wolverines, but he does still have a 49-21 record. He has still won a lot of games for the Michigan Wolverines. The Michigan Wolverines have finished several seasons under him ranked. They've made a lot of BCS bowls, and while they haven't been quite able to win that big game, they've never been able to beat that Ohio State. They've never really been able to compete with the big dogs of the NCAA. They've still been a very good college football program. They've always been ranked. They've always been good. They've always had a good defense, and obviously with the exception of this year, but again, this year is a very strange year for everybody. There's a lot of outliers this year, so I don't hold this year too much against Jim Caldwell, or I don't hold this one too much against Jim Harbaugh, because again, he's shown me over and over and over again that he can coach and that he is going to have a winning record pretty much everywhere that he goes. Now, my second coaching candidate from the college football ranks is PJ Fleck, the head coach from Minnesota. Now, PJ Fleck does not have the NFL experience that Jim Harbaugh has, but PJ Fleck, in my opinion, is the best head coach available for the Detroit Lions to come out of the college ranks. He would be my first and top choice if it was available. Now, again, he doesn't have the NFL experience. He doesn't have, necessarily the Super Bowl appearances or the big games or anything like that. But again, just like Jim Harbaugh, all this guy does is win football games. Going back to his time at Western Michigan, where he was before Minnesota, when he got there in his first season, the team went 11-1, and they were at the bottom of college football. They were one of the worst teams in the NCAA. The next 2 years after that, so he went 1-11. The year after that, they went 8-5 with a winning record, and I believe won their bowl game. The year after that, they went 8-5 again, respectable record. I believe they were top of the MAC conference. They were up there at least, and they had a good season. And then in 2016, they went 12-1. They finished top 10 in the country as far as rankings, and they went to a big BCS bowl game and had a really good season. That only loss came in the Cotton Bowl, I believe, to Penn State. So, he took a 1-11 Western Michigan team and took them to a 13-1 record, including a big BCS bowl where they narrowly lost to a blue blood school. They only lost by a couple points. I believe it was a close game. I think it was Penn State, maybe it was somebody else, but he took them to a 13-0 record, and their only loss was in the bowl game. So, I know he can build a winner. He did it at Western Michigan, and then after his time at Western Michigan, he went over to Minnesota. And when he got there, Minnesota wasn't a good football team. Minnesota hasn't been relevant for a very, very long time. When he got there, they were a 5-7 football team. When he got there, they were losing. They were not very good. In his first year, he didn't do anything that great. The team wasn't really able to accomplish anything. However, in his second year, after he had a year of recruiting, after he had a year to get his guys in, the team improved to 7-6. They had a much better record. They, were getting some wins. They were gaining a little bit of respect, but they weren't quite able to compete with the big dogs of the Big Ten just yet. And then 2019 rolled around, and Minnesota took off. They went 11-2, including a big bowl game victory versus the Auburn Tigers in the SEC Conference. PJ Fleck won Big Ten Coach of the Year, and again, all he's doing is winning. All he's done at programs is build them up, fix the program, and get them to a winning situation. And kind of like Jim Harbaugh, things haven't quite gone his way this year. They've had a couple really bad, football games. They're obviously, Minnesota right now is 2-3, I believe, at this time of recording. So Minnesota isn't having the best year right now. They're not having their best year, but they are still fighting. They've still made every single game close. And the last game that they won, I believe it was versus the Iowa Hawkeyes, if I'm not mistaken. They won that game without 25 of their athletes and 25 of their coaching staff total. So they were missing 25 personnel for that game, and they still found a way to fight and scratch and claw their way to a victory because PJ Fleck is just that kind of head coach. He gets his guys ready to play. He motivates them. His guys PJ Fleck's guys, his players never give up on him. They always have confidence. They always have courage. They always believe that they can win a football game no matter the circumstance and no matter the scenario. PJ Fleck, yes, as I said in the beginning, when I introduced him, he does not have the NFL resume that Jim Harbaugh has, but, PJ Fleck is a motivator. He is a leader of men, and if we were to bring him into this locker room, he would build a culture just like he's done at Western Michigan and just like he's done at Minnesota. PJ Fleck, all he's done is rebuild bad programs. All he's done is go into poor programs, a 1-11 Western to Michigan, a 5-7 Minnesota team, and all he's done is build them into contenders, build them into big powerhouse schools. And when he leaves, these schools tend to dip off a little bit because he is such a good coach that the next guy can't quite compare to him. And obviously that Western Michigan tie, he's coached in Michigan before, he's been in Michigan before, so maybe he would want to come back to Michigan and coach for a professional team again. That's just another line and another way you can connect him to Michigan.
Give me your eyes. I asked you last night to be able to write down on a piece of coal, piece of carbon, of the pressures you felt and what you've overcome because of the pressure you put on yourself to be the best you can be. And then we all put it into a big bucket. Something magical happened last night. I saw it this morning. Because when you reach into the carbon, man, and you start digging around of all the pressure and all the bad things and all the issues you had, this is what's come out. It's as real as it gets. You're a diamond. Go be diamonds today.
Ball's intercepted. Trade down. Pressure comes, firing toward the end zone. Intercepted, and Minnesota has knocked off Penn State.
But hey, this was special. This was special because we talked all week about what it takes to make a diamond. And we talked about that carbon and that pressure. 2,700 degrees, 4,000 men standing on your right foot, that amount of pressure in a long period of time. And then somebody's got to go find it. And then amazing things happen when you have all that carbon of all of our stories that we wrote down last night in our team meeting, and all the things we learned from pressure, and all the things we talked about back in January, and then you pulled out this thing, boys. You pulled out that. But to get that, this was in the mud, the muck, right? The heat, the pressure. It was under all that rock, and you had to find a way to make it happen, and you did. And I couldn't be more proud of you. You guys are all diamonds. You truly are. Everything we've done's led up to right now. Right now. Because legacy are full of legends. You can become a legend today, boys. Put your stamp on history. Put your stamp on a legacy. It is going to take all of us. Men, be not afraid. Do not be afraid to be a legend.
Now, the third and final head coach that I have is another guy that has won a lot of football games. All he does is win. All he does is, win football games. All he does is have good records and motivate his team and get victories and get his team into a good position. And this guy was actually brought up to me by Luke G's field review, and I looked into it a little bit. It's David Shaw, the head coach from Stanford. Now, you might say, well, why Stanford's head coach? And I didn't know either because, obviously Stanford plays on the West Coast. They play in the Pac-12. I don't watch a lot of Stanford games because they're obviously on at very weird times because they're in a different time zone over there. But David Shaw has been one of the better head coaches and one of the better tenured head coaches in the NCAA right now. Now, he, in his first 8 seasons, the 8 consecutive first seasons at Stanford, he had winning records. Stanford ended 6 of his first 10 seasons ranked, including a number 3 finish in the 2015 season. He's a good head coach. He knows how to win. He's a motivator. He gets guys going. He gets guys ready. And again, all he does is win football games, and that's what I want to see out of our head coach. I don't care if he's a player's coach. I don't care if he's tough on the players. I don't care if, he's a defensive guy or an offensive guy or a former head coach. I don't care if he has experience in the NFL or not right now if they're coming out of college. I want a guy that is a proven winner, a guy that has proven he can turn programs around, a guy that has proven he can motivate his players and get them to go out every single day and play hard for him. And I want a guy that has proven that he can win football games. And all 3 of these coaches have done that. All 3 of these coaches are different guys. All 3 of these coaches have different coaching styles. PJ Fleck is a motivator. He will get your guys ready to play. He will get your guys ready to go. PJ Fleck, in my opinion, is the best coaching candidate. Jim Harbaugh has the NFL experience that you're looking for, right? He's been an NFL head coach. He's taken his team to 2 NFC championships and a Super Bowl. Didn't end up winning that Super Bowl, but he was there. He was 1 step away from being a Super Bowl champion and accomplishing what many coaches never get the opportunity to do. Even David David Shaw has coached one of the best programs in recent history in the NCAA. The past 2 years haven't quite gone his way, and I'm not sure why that is, but I know for a fact David Shaw did not wake up in the 2019 season and forget how to coach. I know for a fact that he did not wake up, David Shaw, and just forget how to coach a football team. He still has all the tools, and he still has the ability, and is still a very good head coach. He is still a very good coach for the Stanford Cardinal right now, and even though their record for the past couple years might not show it, he is still a good coach, and this team still fights, and this team still keeps every game really, really close. I think any of these three head coaches would be a great fit for the Detroit Lions. Obviously, two of them have Michigan connections with Jim Harbaugh and PJ Fleck. David Shaw, I think, might be a little bit of a long stretch because, obviously he's been with the Stanford Cardinal for so long, and obviously he wants to stay there. He obviously likes it there in Stanford, so I don't know if we would be able to convince him out of Stanford, but obviously zeros talk, money talks, and obviously having the opportunity to coach in the NFL is a big honor for coaches, so you never know. He might even be interested in coming here. I think all three of these coaches would be really good. They all have head coaching experiences. All of these guys are head coaches in college football right now, and I know that college football and the NFL are very different, but if you can coach football, you can coach football. At the end of the day, college level, professional level, if you can coach football. If you know the game, you can coach it well. It doesn't matter what level you're at, you are going to have some success. And all of these guys so far, to me, have shown that they have the ability to coach. They can make in-game adjustments. They are good enough coaches to put this Lions team where they want to be tomorrow. Like, if they were to hire any of these guys, I truly think that we would see an immediate impact, and we would see an immediate, rise in the Lions stock. We would see the Lions get immediately better with any of these three head coaches, especially, and I'll say it again because he is my favorite candidate right now in the college recruit, in the college, he's my favorite candidate of the college coaches. PJ Fleck, I think, would be a perfect fit for the Detroit Lions. He has Michigan ties. All he's done in his coaching career is turn programs around from bad to great. All he does is motivate guys. All he does is get guys to do what they need to do. He never makes excuses. He builds cultures everywhere he goes. I think he would be the perfect head coach for the Detroit Lions. I think he would be great in the NFL, and I think he would be great for the Detroit Lions. But of course, there are other guys. There's obviously Jim Harbaugh. There's obviously David Shaw. You got guys that want Lincoln Riley. You have some people that are asking for Urban Meyer to come out of retirement, and there's a bunch of other guys. The Northwestern head coach, the Iowa State head coach. There are a ton and tons and tons of college coaches that could be really good NFL coaches and could be really good coaches for the Detroit Lions. But those are my three coaches. Those are the three guys that I think the Lions need to take a look at. They need to interview. They need to see if they're interested in coming to Detroit, because I think if we hire any of those three coaches, we see an immediate impact, and we see this Lions team get immediately better, and we see this Lions team get back to where they could be and where they should be right now. I think under Matt Patricia, this team had a 6-10 season this year. I think if we bring in PJ Fleck or David Shaw or even Jim Harbaugh, I think we see the floor at the very minimum go to an 8-8 season. I think we see the ceiling jump tremendously to a 10-6, 11-5 season, because I truly think all of these head coaches and all of these college coaching candidates are good enough to coach the talent on this team. This Lions team has talent. This Lions team has players that they can put in good position to make plays. All they need is a competent head coach and some competent play calling, and this team will skyrocket in productivity. This team will skyrocket in the power rankings. This team and the Detroit Lions will skyrocket up boards, and all of a sudden, you will see this team become relevant. You will see them get back to relevance, get back to the playoffs, get back to where they want to be, and all it's going to take is a head coach. I don't think they're that far away, and again, I think all of these coaches, if they come in and coach for the Detroit Lions next season, I think we see an immediate impact, and any one of these coaches will help the Lions get back to the playoffs next season. With all that being said, that is all I got for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day. If there's Lions news before tomorrow, then I will obviously make a video letting every single person know. But until then, that is all I got for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you all tomorrow with more Lions content. Bye, guys.